Thank you, John. I'm calling from Detroit, Michigan. About 10 minutes before the session today, I learned that a friend of mine's 29-year-old son died of COVID. And
let's just stop for a moment.
Learned about him being dead.
Let's just stop for a moment. Okay?
Yeah.
And just take that in.
It's really real.
29.
Yeah.
See, this is one of the things where the mind, I don't know about your mind, but like, you know, the way things are put out and described about the virus, we can think of it as grandma and grandpa, or we can think of it like certain people are much more vulnerable. But the fact of the matter is that this virus, people still don't understand it. The smartest of the virologists and epidemiologists and physicians, they're saying like, this is a very, very unusual thing. And while we understand some of it, we don't understand others of it. And so I just want to sort of acknowledge that this happened in your life to you, to somebody you know just now, that you just learned about it. So thank you.
And I think I want to know, in light of that, but even before I learned he was dead, you keep referencing putting out the welcome mat for positive and negative feelings. And so it's really, I've been meditating for about a year. I took an MBSR class. Can you talk a little bit more about putting out the welcome mat for when just horrible things happen like this? It's really hard for me to put the welcome mat out.
Well, you know, it's something that you grow into over time. So it's not necessarily, you know, like, oh yeah, just put out the welcome mat because your mother died or your father died or somebody close to you died. What putting out the welcome mat means in my language is recognizing the actuality of what is. Okay? It's not that we have to like it, but this is the way things are. So otherwise, we'll fall into one kind of pattern or another of denial or not really clear seeing. So in this case, it just means letting yourself cry, letting yourself feel, doing what feels right, you know, in this moment to you, whether it's politically correct or not. I mean, but to just be real with the suffering that is unavoidable and an eventuality that's actually real. And millions of people, millions of families are going through this right now. And all the rest of us are terrified that it's going to happen to our 29-year-old or 35-year-old or 95-year-old mother, grandmother, son, daughter, friend. We're all in this boat together, and the virus doesn't have any kind of preferences, it seems. And so it's so important not to idealize the meditation practice like, oh, you should just put out the welcome mat for whatever this is. No, what it means is to actually trust your heart in this moment. And if it just wants to cry and scream and pull its hair out, that's fine. And in the next moment, you'll be reaching out to the parents of this person or whatever it is that you do. It's all the meditation practice. All of it is the meditation practice. As long as you hold it that way, that's what the welcome mat does. It says like, oh, don't like it. That doesn't mean it's not here. Don't just go with what you like or the nice, like romantic, meditative, spiritual, good feeling stuff. No, this is it. This is the curriculum. Why? Because it's here. And because it's part of our human experience. And the curriculum is the experience of being human. And the challenge is, how do we navigate it? And so there's no one right way. I've been emphasizing this over and over again. So that's like nobody can do this except you, and even you can't script it. So just be real. And you know, and trust that you're capable of being real. Okay. When you don't default to thinking or saying the politically correct thing or being embarrassed because you don't know how to talk about it. And a lot of us think we get really weird in the face of other people's grief because we want to help, and then we say stupid things because of our own discomfort. So be aware of that impulse. And sometimes it will actually happen. It will say stuff that we then feel really badly about because, or we don't even know that it compounds the suffering of the other because it makes it all about us and me and my suffering. But wait a minute, you're not the one that died. So this is the kind of terrain of mindfulness. It's extremely complex, and at the same time, it's unbelievably simple. And that's what I mean by putting out the welcome mat.
I think when I started meditating, my motive was I was hoping I would feel better, and I've realized that that's not necessarily the case.
Depends on what you mean by feel better.
Not have pain.
Oh, not have pain. Okay, well, lots of luck on that one.
I know.
But how you are in relationship to pain, that's a whole different story.
Yeah.
And I often will say, put the welcome mat out for the pain. But then I would also say, can you distinguish pain from suffering? That would be something to look at.
Mm.
And also, if you're talking about body pain, your own pain,
More psychic pain, I
or
think.
even psychic pain,
Yeah.
but going beyond the circumstances of this death, of this boy you knew. Sometimes pain is not quite the right word. Maybe it's extreme discomfort. Very often when we use the word pain, it's like cementing something into something that's unchangeable, my pain. And you objectify it in a certain way. And then you're imprisoned in the objectification, but you don't realize that. And the sort of cardinal principle of this meditation practice is that pain is, or discomfort is just a natural part of being human. But suffering does not equal pain. Suffering has to do with the narratives we tell ourselves about what's wanted versus unwanted, pleasant versus unpleasant. And it's possible to actually liberate oneself or transform suffering into love, so to speak. It doesn't mean that you don't care or you don't feel. It means actually that you feel even more. And that's kind of a profound part of this meditation practice, but you can't make that happen. It will happen to you as you give yourself over to this open-hearted spaciousness. And don't idealize the meditation practice so that you can't show your sorrow or discomfort. I hope that helps.
Thank you.
And I'm really sorry for the loss.
Thank you.